Hello, fellow Voyagers. Jess here with Odyssey Human. Here today to talk about a 3,000-year-old manifesting technique that you can try and why it works. So, welcome to the channel. This is Odyssey Human, the place where we explore the outer reaches of human consciousness and experience, and so that you can be a master manifester, create exactly what you want, and love your experience. So, if that sounds good to you, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. So glad you're here. And today I want to talk about mantras. What are mantras? Now, bear with me. If you've watched a lot of manifesting videos and you're like, oh, mantras are just affirmations, hold on a second, because I've never heard anyone draw this parallel to mantras and affirmations before. Because it's something I've been experimenting with. And as always, there are an infinite number of ways to manifest. You may say to yourself when you hear affirmations, oh, I'm not an affirmation person. Neither was I until I started considering it from this angle. And I've been playing around with it. It's really powerful and things start to move. So let me kind of tell you about mantras, how to use affirmations in a mantra style, which I think is not widely talked about. There are some people who do have channels essentially devoted to this technique. They don't call it mantra, but they just keep repeating the same thing. So I want to kind of come at it from the ancient technology side. So what is a mantra? What is a mantra? I want to read to you an excerpt from the New World Encyclopedia. A mantra literally means instrument of thought in Sanskrit. Originating in ancient India out of Vedic Hinduism, mantras serve a variety of functions and are especially popular as aids to meditation and devotion. As powerful sound vibrations, mantras encompass various forms of sound utterance, a syllable, a verse, or a sacred formula, which can be repeated silently or chanted for different purposes, such as instilling concentration, facilitating spiritual growth, and helping to visualize. It is said that a mantra can revitalize the mind with mystical power and help deliver it from illusion to enlightenment. Mantras have been used in religious ceremonies to accumulate wealth, avoid danger, or even allegedly eliminate foes. So when you hear that entry, when I read it, I was like, oh, that's manifesting. So, so I'm going to give you now 3 reasons why using mantras is a really smart technique. And again, there's infinite number of techniques. You're the creator. That's the beauty of it. You could, as the creator, we can always say, I'm going to put my finger on my nose and turn around 3 times in a circle, and then my wish comes true. We can actually do that to manifest whatever we want if we believed that worked. But some of us, myself included, need a little help sometimes with evidence. And this evidence that for 3,000 years, people have been using mantras. Think about the monks in the monasteries just chanting and walking, doing these, walking, chanting meditations of just repeating the same phrase. In India, the Om, just that single syllable, And so 3 reasons why it's smart to use mantras. And let's look at it from multiple angles here. The first one is it gives you a sense that you're doing something. We always, in manifesting, feel like we have to do something to become the person who has our desire. I know I feel that way sometimes. I'm like, I need to be doing something. I need to be doing something. And so using a mantra, returning to a mantra, practicing a mantra takes just enough attention where your attention is continually drawn back to reciting the mantra. One of the great mantras I've been using is just, isn't it wonderful? Or everything is perfect. Everything is perfect. Something really general. I suggest keeping it general. When you first start getting into mantras, go general. Instead of doing something specific, like I have $1 million in my bank account. I have, that's specific. Go general. Just something that suggests ease and flow, that everything is great. Everything in your life is great. I was doing Isn't It Wonderful? It's a classic Neville mantra where you just repeat it all day, all day, all day, all the time. yeah, and I started to see movement right within 24 hours. So number two, the beauty of a mantra is you don't have to put the fake emotion into it. Often when we're trying to create a state of being, right? We're trying to get into the state of someone who has what we want already. We almost like exaggerate the emotional part. We're almost like too happy. And the point of a mantra is to be kind of mindless because it's a meditative tool, right? You don't have to put the fake emotion behind it. You can just repeat it. Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? You just repeat it mindlessly. You don't have to worry about the emotional part. Yeah, because, and something I realized last summer when I manifested my dream job, I had some moments afterwards, after I'd been working there for about a month or two, where I was like, I feel exactly like the same person I was before I had the job, except now I have the job. Like I recognize that because we all have an emotional set point, right? That we will return to. Like you have that initial spike of, I'm super happy I got what I wanted. And then you return to whatever emotional set point you have that's normal for you. And so, except you have the thing. And so there's actually power in repeating something mindlessly because things that are factual for you are they don't really carry emotion anymore, because they're fact. They just are. There's not a lot of, when you say your name, like I am, whatever your name is, there's not a lot of emotionality in it. And so, yeah, you don't have to generate with a mantra that artificial emotion. It will actually come naturally. This is the beauty of it. As you repeat the mantra over and over again, right, your neural pathways are shaping around those words because the words do have meaning to you. They have meaning. If you pick a short phrase of what you want, your desire, or isn't it wonderful, that has a meaning to you. And so that is the power is in the meaning, right? And as the neural pathways form, then you start to believe it more, and then the emotion automatically is generated. So, number one, gives you a sense of that you're doing something, keeps your attention focused. Two, and the definition said it was a concentration tool. Number two, you don't have to put the fake emotion into it. And three, it quiets your mind in other ways. So if you're busy reciting the mantra in your head, just one simple phrase, keep it short, keep it sweet, keep it to the point, keep it general at first. You can try to go specific, but I would recommend general. You don't have time when you're doing this to think about doubts, fears, worries, anxieties, other stories, fixations on problems. You don't have time to do that. So initially it will manifest a state of being for you because you're going to drop all those other thoughts, all those other kind of thoughts that put you in a more negative mental headspace. You eliminate them by saying the mantra over and over again. You crowd it all out because you're just repeating that mantra nonstop all the time, all the time. All the time you're consciously aware that you're thinking, you're repeating the mantra. As you're eating breakfast, as you're taking a walk, as you're watching TV, you can even, if it's short enough, you can even do it as you're watching TV. Like I can watch TV and say, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? Isn't it wonderful? And that's also why the ancients used it as a meditation. It's a concentration tool because in meditation, what's the point? You focus on your breathing. In meditation, you give yourself one singular point of focus. And same thing with a mantra, one singular point of focus. And by doing that, by just eliminate the simple fact of eliminating all the other junk, all the other mind garbage, that in itself is powerful. And that's why why do you think they used a single syllable, Om, just saying Om over and over again, does the same purpose, it crowds out the mind clutter. It is meditative. And there's so much power in meditation because of that, because you're not spinning in negative stories, negative thoughts, anxieties, worry, anger, whatever other, emotional and thought kind of stuff that bogs us down. So I hope this helped. Drop a comment below. Try out the mantra and don't stop. Don't stop until you see a state change, right? I talked in the last video about the 90-10 rule. That's a really good video. Check it out if you haven't seen it. Mantras, using them, pick one, keep using it, do it mindlessly. Don't worry about the emotion. Just keep repeating, keep repeating, keep repeating. And it will change your state. That's the first manifestation, right? It's changing your state of being. And then the 10% is your 3D reality. Keep going until you start to see movement in 3D reality. And then even beyond that, you can keep going. You can just have a mantra. There's a guy that wrote a book about doing the mantra of, I love myself. I love myself. He just kept repeating that, and how his life totally transformed from that mantra alone. So try mantras. Let me know, drop a comment, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.